not knowing how to play around with Kali Shroud. Oh, there's the hook. In comes into the silence. Huge misfortune. Oh, just obliterates ESG. That is a quadra kill for the end.
Hello everyone, welcome to another edition of Playoff Hypes for DUO Esports, where we interview the top 4 teams who made it into the Season 3 of Bronze, Silver, Gold Competitive Series Playoffs. Today I am here with the 4th seed from Elder Division, Dota's Demons. My name is Sievert and I am joined here today with I Play Support, Owner, Support, and Captain, all 3 roles for Dota's Demons, and I am Evelyn, starting Jungler for Dota's Demons. Gentlemen, how are you doing today?
Doing all right. We had a practice earlier today, so I'm feeling pretty good.
Okay.
Doing all right as well. Just kind of chilling on off day, you know, having a good time. Good time.
Off day while everyone else had to go to work on this dreadful Tuesday. I don't know why, but so far the first yesterday and today for me, like when I had to go and work out in the morning, my trainer was just like, "Yo, we're just gonna destroy your body this week." Because you guys have to like start moving your office next week, so we're just gonna destroy your body. And I'm like, oh, great. I mean, I didn't. It's not like I already hated my life to begin with, but thanks for making me hate it more. But anyway, so gentlemen, I have brought both of you here today because really, how I thought about it was that not every team in the DUO Esports League really gets enough recognition, and I feel like that your team, Dota's Demons, a team that legit came in during, I believe it was towards mid-season, almost to the later stages of the season, and then our all-supreme ruler of the server was just like, let's just create a team that's named after me, and we'll just name it my Demons. So it's like, it's actually kind of funny that your team actually came up out of nowhere, and then for the events that actually came up to you guys to actually making it to be the 4th seed in the Elder Division, and to get possibly the worst amount of odds against you guys is really hilarious to me. But at the same time, I feel like so sorry at the same time, because it's just like, oh, I don't think we're gonna get in. And then all of a sudden, like, out of all the events and consequences that happen to certain teams, you're just like, oh, we just got a free ticket into the playoffs. Like, hooray! But anyway, what I brought you gentlemen here today is to really focus on Dota's Demons as a team. I want you to give me a little bit of insight on what it's like to be on Dota's Demons, like what you guys really do, what you guys are about, and really your thoughts and opinions about the team and possibly any other team within your division or even in the whole league in general. Really just want to get to know you guys more as a player rather than just knowing you guys as a team. And I'm pretty sure the same wants to be happen for everyone who's watching right now and the whole entire community who eventually joins the league and finds out, oh, hey, there's an episode about Dota's Demons. I never heard of these guys before. Let's see how they were in previous seasons. So, gentlemen, I actually thank you for actually joining me. So, without further ado, I want to go ahead and get this lovely, lovely journey started. And I want to start it with you, I Play Support. So really, the first question I really want to know, and I'm pretty sure what everyone wants to know, is due to the circumstances when it came to the team that you replaced, which I believe was Roasted Black Pepper, within the Elder Division.
Yeah.
After their issues, and then from the infamous meme about their team now as Roasted Smurf Pepper, like, what was it like to take their place and to know that, oh, great, I had to start up a team, like, out of absolutely nowhere, and, like, at the last minute? Like, can you, just tell me how you felt after that?
Actually, it's pretty weird because I wasn't... The team that I run right now was not that team. After the breakdown of RBP was a different Dota's Demons. I forget who was the captain at the time, but it was a completely different team. So what happened was, after that, their team broke down. I don't even remember why or how, but the Dota's Demons before me broke down, and I was offered the position to take this team and find players.
And that's pretty much what it was like.
Yeah.
Just in a
It
simple note,
was a lot.
there wasn't no strategic planning. There wasn't no, oh, I already have a blueprint for this. It was just like, oh.
It was me or nothing. It was me or DUO loses another team. They literally didn't have anyone to play for the team. So if I did what I did, which was step in and gather players as fast as possible, then we would still have Dota's Demons.
So pretty much what the team was like was, as soon as it started up, it was mostly oh great, we have to get a team together. I just got to grab a bunch of free agents, and then we got to be like, oh, all right, here we go. This is another team within DUO Esports. Might as well just go along with it.
Yeah. I literally gathered a 5-man starting roster within an hour, and then I went to look for subs.
Oh. And you
I
got,
didn't even
and
do
you
tryouts.
and you got that all within that same day, or?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Within one day. I picked up 1 or 2 other people a few days later from suggestions from people on my team right now, like friends and stuff. And I also have 1 e-sub because our ADC Sparky has a duo, so we might be using an e-sub, lose a ban, like no big deal. But as far as the original starting roster that we used for the end of the regular season, I found 5 people within an hour, and then I got some subs right before our cutoff, which was a little bit delayed because I picked up the team after the official cutoff for the league.
So I consider that as more as luck than anything, for you to actually have that in such a short amount of time, to actually get all those players together, including subs, just to be like, hey, we're just creating a free agent team. If you want to play, hey, it's all hold bars. Let's just go ahead and go with fisticuffs flying, and let's just see what happens.
Yeah.
Okay, I like that. That's actually really amusing. I find some joy in that. So with that being said, like, was there any high hopes or like any high expectations for the team then, or was it just like, screw it, like it's already mid-season? And I believe you guys actually overtook the record of Roasted Black Pepper, correct? Or
I'm not sure how that went, but I picked up the record of the previous Dota's Demons. Like, I'm not sure what the turnover was. I think they might have. I think they just slid into the same spot with the same record and changed the name.
Okay, so it was if I recall correctly, Roasted Black Pepper, even with their Smurf account, or with all their Smurfs on the team, they actually were doing quite decent. I mean, they did beat currently, I believe they actually beat Conqueror in a game, and then I think they came really close to beating Naughty Nips, and then I think they beat a couple of other teams from the Baron Division, and which were actually, odds were put it against them, but then they somehow were able to come up on top. So really, for Dota's Demons to actually take over their record wasn't really putting them in a bad spot, really.
No, it wasn't that bad. It was for the original team, yeah, like they had a decent spot starting out, but then, like I said, I don't remember specifically what the issue was, but like lack of consistency, lack of proper leadership, maybe. They just didn't have a team anymore. No one was present to play their games. Like when I picked up the team, I had CGEM. Right. And CGEM was left over from the original team, and that was it.
Wow.
So I had to find the rest of the players.
So back to the question, like when you joined or anything, like how was the atmosphere? Like, was it like you had there were high expectations, or there were high hopes or anything? Like how was the whole atmosphere when you were on it?
So one of the things, this is my first time being a captain, and to be so spur of the moment as a captain, I decided that I want to be serious. I don't necessarily want to just come in and like meme the rest of our games and then just disband. So I tried to gather as many players as I could and said, hey, I actually want to play. I actually want to try. And then after after our first week, I think we had won our first game. But then after that, we were like, you know what, we might meme towards the end. Like the last game was against ESG, so we had thought about doing it, but then we found out that we were getting into playoffs, and I was like, all right, well, we need to get some wins going into playoffs. We need to get the ball rolling. So I decided we're going to be serious.
And that was more towards like the and this what that was and for you to actually say when you guys had to face ESG again, that was towards when we had all the teams had to go back and playing in their own division. So this was kind of a late, very late actually expectation for the team to all of a sudden be like, oh, we can actually qualify for playoffs.
Yeah.
Like, holy Jesus! Like we gotta pick up our game here a little bit, guys.
Yep. I think it was about a week between like finding out that we can make it and deciding that we have to actually try, because like I said, we were thinking about possibly just having some fun, like, you know, at end of the season, like nothing too serious. But then I found out that we're actually going to be playing in the playoffs and against AOL of all teams. So we need to step our game up. We need to actually show that we're here to play.
Okay. All right. That's fine. That's good. So just tell me. So now tell me about the starting lineup. I know you said that right now the lineup that you have right now is kind of it's not really secure right now, because you did say that I believe you lost a player and now you have to use a emergency sub, unfortunately, which is an automatic loss of a ban, which
of one ban
definitely hurt, especially for the team that you guys have to face. I'm not going to mention that right now because it's just going to probably cause nightmares already, and I don't really want to give that bad juju already.
Of course.
Really, so just tell me about how you actually knew at one point you were just like, yeah, these guys are actually solid together. These guys can actually communicate very well together. And just really tell me about your starting lineup. Like, how'd you get all these guys together, even when they were free agents?
Well, I'm going to start by making a correction. I didn't actually lose anybody yet. What happened was my ADC said that his duo wants to play. So his duo is a support, obviously, ADC support. So I benched myself, because if somebody else is going to be better, then I respect that. I'd rather have a better player, and I'll just sit back and be the captain.
During playoff time?
During the regular season, he actually played, I think, one game for us so far. And as a result of that, I'm still not 100%. Nothing is locked yet. We've been running practice and trying to see different layouts for our roster. We're trying to get the best that we can in the best positions possible to be most efficient.
And from a captain's perspective, you believe that he is going to be performing better in this scenario when you guys actually have to play in the playoffs?
Yeah, definitely. I think that especially if my ADC has existing synergy with a player, without a doubt, I will bench myself to have that player on the team playing. And the cost of a ban, I think, is worth it.
Okay, that's actually pretty surprising. I honestly didn't know that. Yeah, that actually blindsided me right there. So that's actually impressive. Massive amounts of respect towards you right now. So back to the question. Thank you for the correction, by the way, so I don't sound like a complete idiot throughout the rest of this video. So at which point were you just like, this is the main guy or the main group that's going to be representing Dota's Demons?
Honestly, I kind of touched on it earlier. I just going out looking for players. It was literally first come, first serve. I gathered the team within an hour. And then, since then, we've been trying to refine things. Like I said, picking up this other player. But when I first picked up the team and said, hey, who's going to play this week? It was whoever was the first group of players that was in.
Oh, so, alright. So it was just mostly like, hey, if you, as you said, first come, first serve. Whoever's going to be the first one to say, hey, I want to top, I want to jungle, mid, etc., etc. It's like, okay, you're the starter. Yeah. Good job, buddy. And then the second person who comes in is like, oh, but I want to play top or jungle, and you're like, well, nope, sorry, you were too late. You're the sub now, buddy.
A lot of people know CGEM as a top laner, but when we gathered the team up, I was asking who wants to play what position, and Fergal Venom, our starting top laner, had literally said it first. So CGEM was like, all right, I can play mid, and it wasn't much of an issue. Mm-hmm. As long as there's no problems, we're not a team that clashes. We don't have internal problems or anything. So
you guys are really relaxed.
yeah. Well, I mean, relaxed is an odd term to use because people seem to think relaxed and serious are direct opposites. When I explained earlier that we're serious, we're here to play.
Right.
But between like interactions with each other, we're pretty relaxed.
So the definition of relaxed, how I like to put it, is that yeah, you guys can definitely play at a competitive level, and when it comes to actually game time, you're like, okay, like let's go ahead, let's go in, let's give it our all. But like when I mean by relaxed, it's more like you guys do come in, you guys do play competitive, but at the same time, if you guys lose, you don't get too emotional about it. It's just like, yeah, we just took a loss. Like, who cares? I mean, it's not really much of a hit. Like,
I mean, at the end of the day, if we win, that's amazing. If we lose, we can't really be too hard on ourselves because we're a team that's been together for like 2 weeks versus teams that have been together throughout the entire season.
Right.
So at the end of the day, like I'm not gonna be too mad if or when we lose.
Alrighty. Then I'll take back my compliment by saying that you're relaxed, and I'll just say you guys are more so bipolar. Like you guys can be happy and good and everything, but then when it comes to you guys winning or losing, it's like wait, whatever. Or it could be like,
Well,
nice job. Like what?
No, because if you win, you're gonna be happy because like especially with the team that hasn't been together long, if we win, then we deserve to be excited about it. But if we lose, we're not gonna take it personally. We're not gonna take some big hit. We're gonna go back and look at what we did and what we could have done better.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the day, like we need to think about the circumstances that led to us all being together, and we can't be too mad that a team that's been together for literally 10 times as long as us is the one that beat us.
Right. Okay. That's a good recovery. I like that. I like that a lot. So one more question for you before we go ahead and move on. I believe even before the interview we actually touched up on this, but out of every, like, I don't know if it was exactly your decision or someone else's decision before you, but why in the hell did you go ahead and choose the supreme leader of the DUO Esports and decided, hey, let's just name our team after him? Like, why did you choose the name Dota's Demons? Like, out of everything you could have chose, or everything that could have been chose, why was Dota's Demons the one that was actually secured and locked in for you guys?
Because
not
Dad.
my decision. No, stop. not my decision at all. Going into this, like I said, I picked up the team, so the team was already pre-existing. I believe. I don't know if Dota made the team and said, "Hey, you guys can play if this is your name." Like like I said, I don't know what happened with the original Dota's Demons. But when I came into it, it was me picking up the team, picking up the name, picking up the logo. Nothing changed. It was just the roster. Like I became owner and captain, made my own Discord server for the team, and then got my players. So it was already pre-existing.
Alrighty. Unfortunately, we can't really go into much detail about it. I wish we could actually know just a little bit more about how in the hell a team like this can just get the name of the all-supreme ruler of all the league that we play in. But, I mean, hey, it's I think it's a respectable name. It's kind of a meme name, too. I like it myself, honestly, especially with Dota's big old band hammer, like right in the middle of your guys' logo. I mean, that's the iconic part of your guys' logo.
The best logo in Duo.
Exactly. Like, it overtakes every other logo, and if you say anything about it, bam, you're gonna get hit with that band hammer immediately, and then you're gonna find yourself in a different league. But anyway, jokes aside right now, we're going to go ahead and move on. I'm going to let you rest your voice up a little bit now, Support. And I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to move on to you, Evelyn. So,
What's up?
I do want to know a little bit about yourself before we get into most of the questions. Like, I want to know who you are as a player, like your past history, like if you were in Duo for a while, or you came from a different league, or how long you've been playing. Like, so just give me a little bit of a brief rundown about yourself before we get started.
I have been playing since the most recent gang playing career work. I believe there was another one beforehand with the introduction of Dead Man's Plate and all that stuff, the first Bilgewater event. That's when I started. I had a couple of friends at school who got me into the game. And up until I joined Duo, I had pretty much only played with friends or random people I met. We just started playing games and chilling out, hanging out. It's one of the fun pastimes for me, just hanging out with people, having a blast. And when Clash rolled around, Riot's attempt at a tournament for regular players, we needed an ADC. And that ADC happened to be on a team in Duo with one of his ranked duos and invited me to join. And that's kind of how I ended up in here. I probably wouldn't have known, heard of, or gotten in here any other way. But I came in as a sub jungle because they needed another player. Then the roster for Frosty got hit with the Smurf ban hammer. And then I ended up being the starting jungler doing all of the remake games.
So you went
brought in and
so sorry to interrupt, but so you you actually came in during the start or like towards the mid season of season 3?
Towards mid-season.
Mid-season,
so right about mid-season, I joined up with Frosty. A week after Banhammer hit, and we did all of the remake games, coming out on top with the same record. So it turned out okay. Frosty had a little bit of a mishap and fell apart, and that same day that I left Frosty, I see an all chat message from I Am Support. Hey, I need a team. I was like, all right. Why not? And that's kind of how I ended up plopped right here on Dota's Demons.
Okay. Man, I mean, you already answered one of the questions I was gonna ask, but we'll go back to it.
You can go back to that question.
Because I'm looking at the script right now, and it's just like, oh, if I go a little bit off script, then I won't know what the hell I'm doing. So I'll stick with my script. But sad enough, there is no ESG on this script. Sadly, but I mean, hell. Let's just go ahead. I'll continue on with it. So really, you did touch up just a little bit on it, but I want you to go a little bit more in depth. Like, I want you to explain your reasonings behind this and what actually led you into actually joining the league. So it's primarily like, how did you get into Bronze, Silver, Gold competitive series? Like, what? You could have been a spectator. You could have been a fan of any other team. You could have just watched all the VODs, all the matches like on stream. But what led you to be like, I want to be playing in this league and I want to be a player for a team?
I was actually unaware of what I was getting myself into a little bit. It was a call of, hey, we need a fill player for a game because we don't have the people for it. And the friend that kind of called me in here was like, asking us those of us who played in a Clash tournament with him, like, hey, are you guys available to help out? You might get a permanent spot on the team. I was like, oh, why not? I mean, hey, if I play the game, do well, get on a team, that's cool. If not, you know what? It's fine. I played the game for them. I got them the help they needed. Then they go back to their ways. It was a kind of an indifferent either way. And then once I got into it, I was like, oh, this is actually pretty cool. I enjoyed this. So we started going. It was kind of a bit of a grind trying to get all of the rescheduled matches on top of the regular season games as well. So it was a bit rough for about 2 weeks. But other than that, I kind of enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun. Definitely was like, well, I'm either going to be a player or just be here. And I don't want to leave.
And you chose to be a player instead, to get yourself a little bit more involved within the league as a whole, rather than just be in the stands cheering for any other team.
Oh yeah, because I mean, most people watch like LCS or LCK or at least Worlds in particular just to get a little bit of competitive league in their life.
Right.
Who doesn't? But I was like, I don't want to sit here and watch LCS and another league. I'd rather be playing the game.
Right.
And then looking at it that way, it's just like, I want to have fun. I'm here to have fun. If we're playing serious, absolutely, I will play serious. Right. You have my undivided attention for that. But this is just a fun little thing to do on the side as well, in a way.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. There are some players, or there are some gamers out there that actually do enjoy the league, or not enjoy the league, but they enjoy the game itself. And yeah, there can be some casual players out there. Definitely ones who just rather play in solo queue or even a flex queue environment. But I do totally understand on the side of, like, there's some players that also do want to have that competitive drive to actually join a actual competitive team and hope that their team can actually get somewhere, because there is several opportunities, like, especially in the time and age that we're actually living in right now, to where mostly anything really when it comes to a gaming community is honestly possible at any time. I mean, at any given moment, hell, even some of the small bronze, silver, gold leagues will probably eventually merge into one super organization and hold like some sort of grand event, which honestly is my biggest dream, that for every single bronze, silver, and gold player who play out through any league, one day, like, there's going to be the Steve Jobs of this, and then he's going to be creating this league, and it's going to be the BCS International Continental Championship 2020, and it's going to have every single team from each individual BSG league, and like the winner of those leagues from like each season will have to go ahead and just compete at like an international title, so they could be like, we are the East Coast, West Coast, whatever coast you want to do, or hell, even as I said, international champion, and like, this is the best bronze, silver, gold competitive team in all of America, and hopefully these guys can do better than most NA teams currently in our LCS. And
you know what? If it gets to that point, I will be hella excited.
I would honestly be so hyped for that. Like, that's my ultimate dream, to be able to witness or even be a part of that big organization, if it is to ever come. If anyone is really that dedicated into giving that competitive spirit to casual bronze, silver, and gold players throughout the entire region. I mean, it's really heartfelt to see that some people actually love to give casual players that kind of experience, to say, hey, we want to make sure that these guys can get in a good understanding of what it is actually like to be in a competitive environment. And for your short story of how you actually got into the league, it reminds me of like that casual gamer that wants to pursue that kind of excitement, and I can totally relate in the same exact way, my man. So next question for you. You you were actually on the Frosty Esports at one point, and yes, I'm pretty sure most of the community who's actually been watching since the preseason for DUO Esports has known that Frosty did eventually hit a very solid wall, and eventually it made the team actually collapse and literally revamp their entire roster with a bunch of new people that I haven't honestly even heard of in the beginning. So for you to actually go from being a sub, correct? Mm-hmm. Yeah, so from you going to a sub from Frosty Esports to you actually becoming a starter on Dota's Demons, would you consider this a downgrade or an upgrade for yourself? Like, would you rather have been on Frosty Esports? And say if they didn't run into the wall that they actually did, like say if the roster was actually still tightly knit and like everyone was getting along with each other, and then would you have stayed on that roster throughout the entire season because you were at least comfortable with it? Or would you have, like, if Dota's Demons actually did say they need new players, thus you being a sub, which most sub players within the league actually say, hey, we want to pursue a starting role, would you have went to Dota's Demons? And I just want to know your thoughts on that.
If Frosty had not run into any of the problems, at that point I was the starter. I brought in some friends to fill up the 10-man roster after kind of everything fell apart originally the first time. Looking at it either way, considering our actual situation, it's kind of a mix of both a downgrade and an upgrade. Because Frosty fell apart. There's no avoiding that anymore. It's like, alright, it happened. I still wanted to play, and I was like, all right, well, we'll just hop in a team, because no matter which team I would have been on, if Frosty hadn't fallen apart, it would have still been we can get to playoffs, and we can do this, but we still have to fight for it. With Frosty, it probably would have been a bit easier, just because I knew the players really well. I was friends with all of them at that point. It was like, all right, we got this. With Dota's Demons, it's kind of like, well, hey, we can still make playoffs, and we wouldn't have originally if it weren't for some cooked up lobster. But it's one of the things where it's like, I don't know any of these guys, but hey, if we make it, cool. We're just having fun at this point. We're playing serious when we come to our games, but other than that, it's like, hey, all right, let's go. I can't really pin Dota's Demons as a downgrade considering the situation. I mean, we're here to have fun. We're here to meme a little bit. I got my Gatorade ready to go. But other than that,
all right. So it's really it's so you can't really like decide whether or not it actually is a upgrade or a downgrade, in your opinion, correct?
pretty much, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, you can flip the coin either way, no matter if I'm different.
Right, because like you said, if Frosty in general was to actually still maintain their roster, or if the new roster after it got revamped was actually even better, or at least possibly the same kind of team as it was before it disbanded. I mean, yeah, I can totally understand the reasoning of actually staying on the team. And then, like, for you to actually go transfer over to Dota's Demons, I mean, in general, like, going to a new team really can be a coin toss, and it can be a risk at the same time, because you don't know what the team you're actually going to can resort into. But, I mean, in this case, how I see it, I think it is pretty much an upgrade for you guys, because really, Frosty didn't do so hot after its downfall, and they relatively struggled just as much. So, and currently, what the biggest thing you can actually gloat about to them is, hey, I mean, yeah, shit happened, but hey, look who's in the playoffs and look who's not. So, in that case,
trust me, that already came out.
Yeah, exactly. So, in this case, I would. For you, I would actually say that it was more of an upgrade. Definitely not a downgrade in any kind of way. I mean, you are a starter. You are having fun with the team that you're playing with. You guys do get to chill whenever you want. No one gets at each other's throats on this team. I mean, hell, even if there was a slight hint of any discomfort from the team, I'm pretty sure you would have put your word out there and just let them know, hey, dude, I don't really appreciate you going ahead and saying this or doing this or anything like that. But you haven't really ran into that as a player. So really, I say that honestly, it was actually upgrade for you. Any comment?
I guess I can agree with that. Yeah, I mean, again, it's kind of like a flip the coin, but you could say it was definitely an upgrade, especially if I were to stay with the roster Frosty had after the rest of the team that I was with left. I probably wouldn't have gone so hot. So this would have been the better choice at that point.
Alrighty. I like it. Alright, so enough about you talking about Frosty and whatnot. Let's just go back to you being on Dota's Demons. Just make it a little bit easier on yourself so you don't have to relive your past memories, and then I just slowly make you become depressed about what could have been for Frosty Esports. But really now, my next question, and possibly final question for you, unless if I think of something else and go off script. So what I really want to know now is there, like, was there any possibility of when you were thinking to yourself while you were playing on Dota's Demons, like, did you ever think about why you chose to stay on the team rather than become a free agent or a sub for a different team or etc.? Like, why was it, like, after you got the spot on Dota's Demons, like, have you ever just thought about, like, well, maybe I can be a free agent, or I can sub for a different team, or I can possibly start for another team? Like, what was your thought process like as soon as you were playing with them? Did you at all ever think about, maybe this isn't the team for me, maybe I should go somewhere else and see if I can give my talent to a team that actually needs it or deserves it? Honestly,
Dota Demons did need some sort of talent at that point, looking at it, because they didn't have anybody. It was just support and CGEM.
Mm-hmm.
I saw the offer go up, and I'm like, well, I'm not on a team anymore. There's only a couple weeks left in the season. Heck, why not? I'll finish it on a team, because at this point, you've got your teams that are going in the playoffs almost for sure.
Even
a week later, they were locked in. So I was like, they wouldn't have been they wouldn't necessarily be looking for a player guaranteed. So I'm like, well, I'll just stick with a team that I know I have a spot on.
Yeah.
Why not?
So
play out the rest of the season and wait for next.
So even if there was that possibility of you knowing that, well, this team honestly probably won't have a chance to actually make it into the playoffs, like you like that didn't come to mind. Like even though you were just like, hey, if we don't make playoffs, like it's just important that I just finish off the rest of the season actually on a team rather than just be a sub for a team or be a free agent for the remainder of the season. It was just more about, was it really just more about you just wanted to play on a team and just finish out the rest of the season rather than I want to be on a team that can actually go into the playoffs and not have to fear, oh, what if we don't make it? I mean, you guys had, I mean, there was Lobster Gang out there, but I don't think at the time they were actually looking for players because, of course, they were all Smurfs at the time. But really, there wasn't any fear of you guys possibly not making playoffs, or you wanted to join a playoff caliber team and be a sub for them at least. Like, playoffs just didn't really matter to you at that point?
Honestly, no. Because if I'm going to play through like a playoffs with a team like that I knew was going, I would have been like, I want to know these guys. I want to have played with these guys. If they sub me in, I want to be the guy that can perform. I looked at it as, okay, well, there's a team that needs players. They might make it in, they might not. Honestly, I just want to play till the rest of the season is technically over anyway, not really caring too much about playoffs. And I was like, well, I get a starting spot here with a bunch of guys I don't know. Hey, if we make it, cool. If we don't, whatever. Mm-hmm. But I could look at it as I go free agent and I don't get a guaranteed spot anywhere. Because they could pick me up, they could not. And even then, I might not get to play. And it's like, I just want to play the game.
Okay, I actually admire that. So it's not like you were like, I don't want to say it because I know if I say it, I'm gonna get like a lot of heat from people about this later. But I mean, how I like to shit talk sometimes about different teams. But so you weren't like a LeBron James in this case, where you're just like, I'm just gonna join a playoff caliber team so I can immediately keep on going to the playoffs over and over again and hopefully get a shot at the title. So you didn't have that kind of mindset going, and you were just like, I just want to play on a team that I can actually get along with. I can actually get to know the players, get to know how they react to each other, how they communicate, and just really know a little bit more about them rather than just be on a team that I'm just piggybacking off of or actually helping to carry into a playoff spot. Correct?
Pretty much.
Okay, that's simple. That's the simplest way I can put it. I probably did upset a couple of people, but I mean. Hey,
it's
true. I mean, hell, it's true. I mean,
everyone has their opinion.
I know, and it's not. I mean, for me to make that comment, yeah, I don't really look much of a basketball player, but still, it's like he does kind of have that mindset. I mean, he's just the number one dude that actually comes to mind when I think about guys who want to be on a playoff caliber team or like be on a caliber playoff roster. I mean, hell, he could have probably went to Golden Guardians, but he was just like, or Golden Guardians. Holy shit, this isn't LCS. He could have went to Golden State, and then like he would have had an automatic title to his belt, and then he could have retired and fucking be like, yeah, like.
See, but you look at his situation; he's getting paid either way.
Either way, he's getting way more money than we can ever imagine. So I mean, hell, I'm pretty sure our word is just like a little fly in his face, and he's just like, get that shit away from me. Don't miss me with that gay shit.
Hey.
But anyway, so. That'll be enough from you. Like, I'll get the spotlight away from you because I know it's starting to blind you a little bit. We're gonna go ahead. We're gonna actually move to both of you so you guys can actually share the spotlight. And really, I want you guys to now focus on the now. So let's look at now. After this season, I mean, a lot of stuff happened. Let's admit, a lot of stuff happened. You guys pretty much got lucky and thankfully had a team who was pretty much smurfing their way throughout BS in the BSG series this entire time. Eventually they got caught doing what they were doing, and honestly that punch you guys' golden ticket into the playoffs. You guys secured the 4th seed now. And really, it's the big question is, are you guys really surprised about this? Like, is this really a big wow to you guys? Like, out of everything that could have happened, I mean, we shouldn't even have worried about playoffs at this point, but now you guys automatically got that 4th seed locked in. Like, are you surprised at all about the season? And if you are, please explain why. We'll start with you, Support.
Alright, so I think the plain answer is yes. I didn't expect to make playoffs at all. Just picking up a team and playing to play was basically what my mindset was initially. But then finding out that another team was, for lack of a better word, stupid enough to have a smurf and I guess not know how to cover it or just get caught by our experts. Finding out that we are making it into the playoffs, it like flipped a switch in my mind, because like I said, like we were thinking about possibly going into the ESG game specifically in our last game of the regular season, like maybe trolling, maybe playing some different picks and stuff,
right.
Like just having fun, because I personally know a couple of guys from ESG. I was on the team, so like we were like, you know, maybe have some fun. But then I found out that we're gonna make it, so I was like, all right, you know what, guys, we got to do this seriously. I was surprised, but I was also like ignited. Like I definitely wanted to be serious and play.
Okay, I like that answer. What about you, Evelyn?
I was disappointed because I was so looking ready.
Disappointed? Disappointed?
No, let me explain for a second before you go. Oh my God, this man's a troll. I am a troll, but like I was excited because like we had 2 games left, and I would get to play whatever the heck I wanted, pretty much. It was gonna be a fun weekend of games, just trolling, you know, just having a blast. Like, we didn't make it? Alright, that's cool. Let's just have some fun. Halfway through the week, I was getting ready to get on and play a game of practice for one of the trolls I was gonna pick. And then, I get a message, hey, guess who's in playoffs? Because the other team got ban-hammered. I was like, oh, well now I'm disappointed because I was getting ready to play this. And it was like the switch flipped. It's like, all right, well, we're in playoffs now. Might as well take it serious.
Right.
Let's roll. Right. We're gonna try and win. If we don't win, it's like, oh well, whatever. You know, we didn't deserve to be here in the first place, technically. So it's like, we'll take what we can get at this point.
Right. Okay. So you consider it a major disappointment rather than a big surprise that you actually got in. No.
I'm disappointed that I didn't get to troll even on the weekend we found out we were in the playoffs, because it didn't matter for those games technically for scoreline to determine seeding or anything. We could have won or lost both of those games. It would have been fine. I was disappointed that we had to play serious because I was excited to troll, but I'm excited that we're in playoffs.
I mean, who isn't ever excited when they say, "Hey, you guys get to troll this game. Just give it your all, and give us that big old trolling game."
Run it down mid, please.
Yeah, everyone run it down mid. 4-5-man bush up in the top lane. Let's just get an early kill and just see if we can tilt the hell out of this man. That kind of ruins the fun out of it, especially if you really think that you really aren't going to make it into the playoffs. I mean, it's just whatever, and then you get that call and be like, hey, you guys actually do have a chance, so, I mean, it's your decision whether or not you want to do it. But, as you said, it actually was pretty much a gimme at that point. Like, I mean, there wasn't much of a, contention for that, 4th seed now that Lobster actually got kicked out, because, I mean, who'd you guys have? Kiss, who finished, I believe, with only 3 wins this entire season. Like, they finished 3-17. May they rest in peace. Like, but like, literally. But you do have to honor Kiss in this situation, because Kiss Gaming actually went ahead and they finished the entire season, whether or not they were going to win and lose. Like, they were really resilient. They were the most resilient team of any team this season, because there was like, okay, we have a 13-17, or not 13. We have a 3-17 record. Might as well just finish the rest of the season with the roster we had. So my true MVP award goes to Kiss Gaming. Like, Conqueror, AOL, OC Nation, all those teams, they can just get the hell out of here. Or Kiss Gaming takes my championship trophy this season. And then who else you got? You guys had Eskimos as well. They collapsed, and they were just like, whatever, we're just going to forfeit every single game for the remainder of the season. We don't have the players. Like, we're just like, we're not going to find any players. We just don't want to play in the league anymore, which was really unfortunate. So that was kicked out of the window. And then it was you guys just sitting there like, yeah, we're still playing. I mean, we got free agents. We're just playing the game, whatever. And I mean, like, we're sure we're kind of in last place because there ain't no competition in Elder League right now, and it's just like, Lobster, I mean, good luck in playoffs. Oh, you guys had Smurf. Oh, your entire team was a Smurf. Oh, okay then. And then that got kicked out, so it's just like, Elder only had 4 teams left, and you guys were just like, we just want to troll. We don't want to be serious. And then you guys just lock in your ticket to being the 4th seed. So, really, it's like I said in the beginning, it's just hilarious to me that you guys actually got in because of all the circumstances with all these teams. Like, it was crazy for the Elder division this season, and it's baffling. So really, when you this kind of gets into how you guys were surprised about this season, but did you really think you would actually get into the playoffs? Like, did you ever think that Lobster Gaming would get called out on their Smurfs, and then like they would have get kicked out, and then you guys would have got your 4th seed? Like, did you at all think that, hey, this is just going to be really much? Like, tell me your opinion on it. We'll start with you, Evelyn.
I looked at it as we had about a 50-50 shot, because either we're gonna come together and we're gonna play decent enough that we can fight for this and get it, or we don't, and it just falls back on the same point. Like, we're here to play. If we win, we win. We lose. All right, we're good with it, because there wasn't time for us to get practice in or anything like that, because we were all so sporadic and everything. Definitely didn't think we would get lucky by any means. It's like, we're gonna have to fight for everything we get if we choose to do so. So
right. All right. What about you, Support?
So basically, like my mindset about everything has been the same. I was just, given the circumstances, I didn't expect much. I didn't expect us to go anywhere as far as like playoffs, but it was funny because I had one instance. I had gotten into an argument with one of the Lobster Gaming players the night before they all got banned, and an unnamed staff member told me, tomorrow you'll have a better day. And I was like, confused. I was like, what do you mean? What are you implying? Didn't ask any questions though. And then turned out they got banned, which resulted in us making playoffs. Mm-hmm. So it was really funny. It was all ironic for me because the Lobster Gaming player was like, for lack of a better term, trashing me for my gameplay and my teams, and it was like, the team that we have, like, I don't think anyone can really trash on a team that just got picked up the way we did. So like, even at the end of the day, like by the end of the season, whenever we win or lose, I'll be excited that like I picked some guys up and we played it out together. Like, the fact that we stayed together better than some of the teams that we've seen in this league.
And actually played the game right, rather than having to cheat you guys' way to get to at least the top spot.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's just sad, honestly. Especially like when you look at it, it was unfortunate for Eskimos. I feel a little bit of grief for them. I mean, I don't know what the hell was going on with that team. Probably it was just roster issues, like no one could have made it anymore, and like they just lost their drive and was like, whatever, we ain't gonna play anymore. But really, and then after that, Kiss Gaming, I mean, they themselves, like, even though they tried a couple of games, I mean, they just didn't really have the skill level as most of the other teams, unfortunately. And then, of course, you guys and Lobster, and then that was just like, I don't even know how to describe it. Like, Elder Division this season was just crazy. Yeah. I mean, like, I can agree with one thing that the duo community says, and that's definitely there is more excitement within the Baron Division, rather than the Elder Division, because as we just said, 3 out of the 7 teams in that division were either out, didn't have enough skill, or had to cheat. Like, it wasn't much. There just wasn't nothing at all, and
Yeah.
it's just, I don't know. I just don't even want to think about it because it just gets me so tilted at this point. But really, so now, I want you guys to look back a little bit more now for Dota's Demons as a whole this time. I want you guys to think about your highest high, your lowest low. Tell me what was the greatest thing that happened to you guys this season. What was probably like the worst thing that actually happened to you guys this season. We'll start with you, Support.
Okay. So as Dota's Demons or myself personally?
As Dota, like as a team for Dota's Demons, like what would you consider that it was the team's highest high and lowest low during the season?
I mean, the highest high, I think, I actually really liked our last game. Our last game against ESG, it wasn't necessarily the cleanest, but I think that we played well. We actually had a player in an off position that actually did really well. We came out of it laughing because we said that our comp was almost like a solo queue comp, but we still played it well. We worked together well, and we pulled off a win for our last game going into playoffs. So I think that's our highest high. Honestly, I don't really think we've had any low-worthy moments yet, because like I said, we are just a team that we've thrown together, so I don't think I'm not personally upset by anything enough to call it a lowest low.
So then let's reword it so we at least get a little bit of something to, like, we can understand that, like, oh yeah, this would probably suck for our team too if we had one, or this would suck for our team if I was on it. Like, what was probably the most disappointing then? Like, could it possibly have been that, yeah, you guys had to throw together a team, like, at the last minute, and you just had to get players that were pretty much free agents, and you didn't get to really have, like, much of a kind of draft scenario where you get to see how the players play in a certain situation. You couldn't really develop a roster? Or was it that really you guys were not really talked about much or really hyped as much as any of the other teams? Like, you guys didn't get enough recognition, and, like, you guys didn't get any respect from most of the commentators, and hell, even some of the other teams. They didn't just give you the respect that you guys thought that you could probably have deserved. Like, what could have possibly been more of a disappointment?
For me personally, the opinions of others doesn't affect me. So as far as other teams and casters and etc., I'll just let my stats speak for themselves, positive or negative. But I think in that instance, one of the more negative things was that we didn't get to run tryouts. Like I said, we just gathered a team, we just grouped people together, and as a result of that, like I said earlier, CGEM, he was a top laner from what I knew last season or previously, so he's in mid. Just situations like that where I'm having some roster issues where I'm trying to work out what's best for everyone. So it's just the positioning from the players that I got that were available, like what I could get, and then trying to work out where I could put them.
Okay, I can understand that. That would definitely get under my skin just a little bit. Because of course I'm a man who admires a little bit of organization, and if I see like anything that's kind of out of line, I can just be like, it's the no. Like, I could totally understand that.
Yeah.
What about you, Evelyn? What would you consider your team's highest high or lowest low? And if you agree with anything what Support said, you can definitely just add on to it and just say, yeah, I think that could be considered a high or low. Like,
I mean, for the most part, it's going to be echoing mostly what Support said. I mean, for the highest high is like when we got together for the first time, it's like we're all in the same mindset. We're all like, we're here to play. If we win, we win. If we lose, oh well. And that was definitely like a good vibe going into the last couple of weeks of games, and as well as finding out we're getting playoffs. We're like, all right, well, we're here to play. That's kind of been our main mesh point, because we still don't know each other all that well. Sure, we've played some games together now. We've got that going for us, but I think something along the lines of tryouts and stuff definitely would have helped a bit better. Mm-hmm. As far as lowest lows, again, there really wasn't any for us, just because we didn't play a full season together.
Right.
we were kind of like, here's the situation, here's what we're given. We can't do anything about it except try and win games. So no reason to bother sulking over anything that goes wrong.
Right.
I definitely think that's been kind of the big deal for us. Is like, we're here, let's go.
Fuck it.
Basically.
Actually, I do want to touch on another thing. Another high we had was, I remember our first game we played. We didn't necessarily choose who was gonna shot call, but we actually meshed really well together. And I remember a few instances where I called for Baron bait. It wasn't necessarily successful. We did waste a lot of time, but one of the things that I really appreciated about was that we were a bunch of guys who didn't necessarily have any experience together at all, but at one moment I made a call and everyone followed it. And that was a really like high for me personally. Like I don't have too much experience on teams that will just follow a call like that. So that felt pretty good.
Okay. You already commented on not really much of a disappointment or a lowest low. You can't think of any disappointment or anything like you said.
Like I said, just not having a proper roster, not having the time to put one together to do tryouts or to try to make sure everyone is in the most optimal position. Like that's
right.
The only downside of our team so far.
Right, and it's at this point it's pretty much pointless for me to try and beat a dead horse. It's like, you've got to have something that you're disappointed of. I will eventually beat
Actually,
the hell out of
there is
you.
one thing. There is one thing that was a bit of a disappointment, and that was just Sparky inting on a collie.
Really?
Oh boy. No, the game against ESG was fun. We were playing serious. We were having a good time, and like we mentioned before, it was kind of felt like a solo queue game. Like we all went into flex queue as solos and got in a call, and we're like, all right, let's go. But we all had some misplays. Sparky, was fun to watch him use the Anua collie dash and dive under the in-hit or the Nexus turrets and stuff like that, and then die for it.
Alrighty.
It was fun.
Okay, at least
It was a fun low.
Yeah, it was a fun low. it was me.
Gotta call him out like that.
It's
The man has a
mediocre. It's
family.
kind of like when you're smoking cigarettes. Sure, the cigarette's bad, but I mean, hell, everyone loves doing it. So it's just like, even though it's bad, we just still love to see it happen, and we love to keep on doing it over and over and over again. And it's just an addiction for us to make bad plays.
And that's how we snowball to a negative win rate, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh my
Exactly. In a nutshell. But anyway, we'll go ahead and move on to the next one. Now, this next question is definitely going to be upsetting your teammates just a little bit. But don't worry, there's a follow-up question right next to it that, of course, it'll make them feel heartfelt on the inside after you're done. But so out of this short season that you really had, out of the pretty much all free agent roster that you pretty much made up, I want both of you to think about who really stuck out the most on your guys' roster and who you believe that should earn the title of Dota's Demons MVP. Like, this is the guy that we can pretty much rely on, like, in any game. He can be on anybody, or he is consistent all the time. Any reason at all of why you would choose this player on your team to be the true MVP. We'll start with you, Evelyn.
Okay, I actually have to give it to Cap.
Cap?
He's giving me the look right here.
He's like, you're not gonna pick me? Okay, we'll see who starts.
I mean,
then.
No, he did pick me. He said
I did pick Cap. Captain. I play support.
Captain. Oh, I thought you said Cap. I'm like, I apologize.
Yeah,
I
have a Smurf. His name is Caps. He came over from the LCS and he's helping us out.
No, not Caps. I thought you said like Cap. Like, I thought it was like an abbreviation of someone else on the team, because I don't really know WT's rosters that much.
Okay.
Like you said, they're all
gotcha.
free agents, and I'm like, I don't really know much of the free agents at this point, but who's Cap? Like, what the hell?
No.
But no,
Cap's captain, Mr. I play support.
I play support. Okay.
So there are two different reasons for this. The first is when he's playing in game, they sleep on his thresh. This man is a playmaker and a shot caller. left and right. He's making calls that help myself out in the jungle and other players on the team do well. And outside of the game, this man has been running a team from scratch. Give him a little bit of credit now. Like, I got everybody else on my team, and we're all just kind of here. We're having fun. We're playing serious because we want to. We don't want to just give anybody a free win. But it's like, you got to think, if anybody's working hardest on this team, it's this guy trying to hold it all together. It may only be for a couple weeks, and now playoffs on top of that, but hey, credit where it's due.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, sorry for my misunderstanding. I wish Cats did come over from the EULCS and was like playing on Dota's Demons. I mean, that would have been really.
But then
that would
the banhammer on the banhammer team. What's
well,
wrong?
who knows? He probably could have been account sharing, and he probably could have been using his brother's account
man.
that is Fnatic Caps, and then he could come over here and be like, my actual account's actually Bronze 3. Like, I'm not really that good. I just have my brother playing right beside me and just tell me what to do, and I just do it. But, enough jokes. What about you, support? Who would you vote for your team MVP?
Aside from trying to give it to myself, which I did consider, but I'm not going to be that guy.
I was going to say, you would be the first one. You would be the first one to be like, oh no, I give it to myself. I think I'm the true MVP.
No, I'm not going to be that guy. Actually, I want to give it to Sparky, my ADC. This guy came in just like everyone else as a free agent, but he's been working really hard. He's been practicing different champions. He's been trying to do what's best for the team the entire time. Like he has a similar mindset to me. Like I mentioned how I benched myself. I explained to him about that, how I will sit myself for somebody who's better, and he said he agrees with that. He said he does the same thing if he's in that instance. He would rather what's best for the team. So I just really respect that. And in his gameplay, he plays hard. He gets greedy sometimes, which I'll hold him back. But aside from that, like he's a good player with a great head on his shoulders. So I respect it.
Okay, really respectable. Thank God you didn't even go ahead and choose yourself, because then I have to be like, okay, then go ahead and get a little bit egotistic. Go ahead and explain a little bit about yourself and why the hell you think you're better than every other player that's on your team, Mr. Team Captain. But like I said, all jokes aside, obviously you guys were able to choose a different player, actually. A lot of the other teams have been choosing other players, and it just shows that you guys see more than just one player, honestly, that really does stick out. Like, you both don't agree on, like, yeah, this person is actually going to be definitely the MVP of the team or anything. Like, you guys have chose someone else, like how everyone chose you, and then you chose Sparky. So it definitely shows that you guys have some trust in each other, and definitely that you guys can carry within your own roles or take care of yourself if you guys need to, even at your lowest moments. And so now that everyone on your team is crying right now watching this, saying, why the hell didn't you choose me? Because even after you would say, hey, I choose myself rather than choose someone else on the team. So now, starting from your top role all the way down to support, I want you to name what you just like about playing with these group of guys, and what really made you be happy that you're now going into playoffs with this team that you actually have. But here's the gist of it. You cannot mention yourself, because that is actually going to be led on to me to go ahead and explain why the hell, as a spectator, what I think makes you stand out above each of your players, and why I think it's enjoyable to watch you play on this team when it comes game time or when it is being broadcasted. So we'll go ahead and start with you, Mr. Team Captain, All-Star MVP. I'm Mr. I'm Better Than Everyone. Go ahead and name down your list, starting from the top all the way down to your ADC.
Okay. So our top laner is Fergal Venom. What I like about him is he's adaptable. We really limited his champion pool. I'm not gonna say to what champions, just spoilers. But we've had him grinding on champions to just work better for the team, and he doesn't complain. He's a hard worker, and he does, for lack of better words, he does what he's told, and he does it well. Back to my boy Evelyn over here in the jungle. It's easy to just sit around and call you a one trick, but at the end of the day, you're adaptable. Like, we have had you on other champions, and you're really vocal and you're really helpful in comms and in game. Going over to CGEM, I have to respect this kid a lot. He's been the most dedicated. He's been here since the previous team, and he stuck around when I asked him if he wanted him to, and then he even stayed after he found out that he wasn't going to be playing top, which is what he's known for. So I just have a lot of respect for him for being so dedicated. And then going down to the ADC role, down to Sparky, I previously mentioned as my MVP. So basically just reiterating what I said, he's really he wants what's best for the team, and he's got a great head on his shoulders, and in game he proves that he's willing to do what he has to do to get it done. Lastly, going to support, aside from myself, obviously, I'm going to mention the eSub support that we brought in, which is PG Ice. I don't know him all too well, as I said, like we did just bring him in, but since he's joined, he's similar to Sparky, where he does want what's best for the team, so he'll be flexible in that aspect. Well, he'll do what he has to do, regardless of if he's necessarily too comfortable on it. He'll get the practice done. He's been grinding certain champions, so I just gotta really respect him for it.
Alrighty, good vibes all around. I like it. You're mentioning especially your eSub that's currently in your position. I believe you're actually the first one to actually mention about your position and honoring your eSub. I think so. I think a team has. I know for a fact one team actually has mentioned every single player, which dragged on for like a couple of minutes, but still, much respect for that. I do like how you were able to be an actual captain or an actual leader of the team and be like, oh, it doesn't consist of these players, it also consists of our subs as well. For you being thankful that they're sticking with the team and actually being tolerable and not like really complaining much, and still looking out for the team and make sure that they succeed. Props for you for doing that, actually.
Thank you.
So now over to you, Evelyn. Go ahead and stop your teammates from crying. Like, go ahead and
Stop my teammates from
you can,
crying.
no,
Oh, boy.
well, it's either they're crying tears of sadness or they're crying tears of joy. So you get to choose one of them. So go ahead and give us some good
Wait,
vibes.
so I can flame everybody?
If you want,
Oh, no.
if you
I'm
want,
just
you can
kidding.
flame everyone,
kidding.
but
Just kidding.
that would
Don't worry.
spice things up a little bit.
I
but-
save that for practice and games. Don't worry. They
Okay,
hear
it's
about
more,
it, but
more,
I get it right back.
More
It's all
behind
good.
the scenes, off the script. I like it.
Oh,
Okay.
don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. No, as far as Fergal and CGM go, top and mid lane, those guys have been all over the place for us. We have them on specific champions that fit the comp. I mean, we try to do that as little as possible because we want people to be comfortable on their champions. But they have been there at every practice. They've been running it down their lanes, doing the best they can, trying to stay safe, keep things going for the team. Flip down to the bot lane between the ADCs Sparky and Riv and our supports and even our eSub. It's like they all built rapid fire cannon. They're energized. They're ready to go. They are vocal every game, which as a jungler helps me out a whole lot because, hey, this person is here. Hey, I see this. Hey, we're backing. Knowing where stuff is going. Being vocal about the game is a huge help. And even just playing with friends, you don't even get that all the time either. It's definitely a different environment. For everybody on the team as a whole, it's like, hey, we're going to play this. We're going to do it. And this group of guys is really all about it.
Okay. Yeah, I like the good vibes. I like it. I'm getting a little bit of goosebumps here myself. Not gonna lie. That's definitely. It's always great to say good things about your teammates, even if they think that there's like nothing good that they can really say about themselves. It's always good to hear from their teammates that, hey, they at least have something good to say about me, or it's good that they're actually acknowledging this specific trait or this specific performance that I'm actually giving for the team. And that's definitely something that's really uplifting for a team, especially in the position that you guys are in, knowing that, hey, it's not like we're in this we're just in playoffs just for the hell of it. No, like, these guys actually do care. They respect me as a player, they respect me as a teammate, and they respect me mostly as a person. And that really, I believe, is what helps a team come together more than anything. Like, you guys can meme all the time in your servers, or you guys can just really joke around in the team comms during the game and just pick random team compositions and just really stupid champions, and then you guys have a good time doing it. And that's all a part of building team synergy. And I believe that's an important part about having a team, is making sure that everyone gets along. Because if you just have a team that's just basically like, our top is just going to carry every single game, like, we'll just let him do his thing, and then I'll just focus on me, just call it team calling and shit and stuff like that. That's not really a team, in my opinion. If you're on the team, you're having a good time, you're communicating well, you guys are joking around all the time, laughing, smiling, giggling, sharing good memories with each other. That's the important about the team. So, props to you guys for that. But now, it's my turn to make you guys feel all warm and fuzzy inside. As a spectator and as a fellow member of the DUO community, being here and listening to you guys talk about your guys' very short history about those demons, listening to you guys talk about your teammates, and just really the journey that you guys have been on so far. This very short journey, it's now giving me a little bit of enlightenment for each of you. So I want you guys to decide who exactly do you want me to talk about first.
Cap.
Okay, fine. Then I'm gonna start with you,
Kappa.
So, good thing about you. This is something that I've heard from a few teams already, but I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna say it to you because I truly believe this as a player myself who enjoys the game and is actually known for what it's like to actually run a team, because in my personal life experiences, and even now for the current job that I'm with, I actually do have to make sure that I maintain my team and make sure that they're happy, that they're taken care of, and make sure that they're really comfortable around me and they look at me as a leader. So for you to look after your team more than anything, like for you to actually make that decision to say, listen, I don't think I'm going to be playing, even though I'm an MVP in my jungler's eyes, still, that don't matter. I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to still put this player in, even if it's at the cost of a sub. I mean, if I think it's going to help out our team, even if we give the enemy team just a free pick for them, hell, if I'm just looking after my team and just thinking about what's going to be perfect for them and what's going to put them in the best winning condition, that's pretty much that's you being non-selfish. You're caring about your team. You want your team to succeed. And really, that's not something that you actually see out of most team captains, because you see most team captains are actually playing because they're like, no, I'm the team captain. If I'm team captain, I have to be with my team. I have to be out there. I have to make the calls. I have to do everything, because being the captain is an important role within this league. And if I don't prove that I'm the captain and I prove that I'm the best on the team, then it's really gonna look bad at me. But you really don't care about that. You're more focused on building the team as a whole. Even though it wasn't a team that you actually created yourself and just picked up from somebody, but you took that ownership, and you're just like, okay, then I'm going to work with it. I'm going to manage it the best way that I can, and that's a great leadership quality to have. You're not being selfish. You're not looking at yourself. You're looking at your teammates and being like, okay, I want to make sure that you're happy. I want to make sure that you're going to be doing well, or you're going to be succeeding, and in short, that's going to actually carry not only for you as a leader for a team, but it's also going to help you for whatever that you do in your personal life. If you need to be there for someone, or if you need to be that shoulder to cry on, or you need to be that guy that needs to be helping an old man across the street or something like that, that value of leadership can actually get you very far in life. And really, I respect you for a player, of how you definitely look after your team more than yourself. Massive amounts of respect for you for that, because I am totally relatable in that situation. So, kudos to you, my dude. Evelyn!
Oh boy.
No, I'm not roasting you. I'm not going to be roasting you. See, I'm not roasting. I'm not roasting you. I seriously just didn't mean that. That was more of a joke on my part. I'm an asshole at most points, but really, it's gonna mostly tie into the same thing about it's gonna tie kind of what I said about support. It's really after hearing the story about you leaving Frosty Esports and then you just staying on those demons and not even for once thinking, hey, I want to be on a actual playoff caliber team. I don't care if I have to sub for him as long as I'm going to be within that competitive's reach. I want to be on a team that's actually going to be successful rather than be on a team that's just a bunch of free agents and possibly not going to be making it in a league. That right there is showing that, honestly, you're just playing the game because you want to play the game for fun. You're not looking at it as more of a competitive scene. When you do go in it, but when you are actually playing on a team that you actually are having fun on, though, you do get competitive, but you're doing it because you love to be on the team. And it's not because I have to be on the team or I'm forced to be on the team because I'm a starter and I have to show up and I have to outperform my opponent every single game. You're on it because you enjoy the team, you enjoy being with the players, and most of all, you just enjoy it because you enjoy it, because you're just playing the game with a bunch of great people. And not a lot of players in this league do that. You see most of the starters just being on the team because, oh, I'm the carry of the team. If I leave, then it's gonna really affect the team, so I'm more important to them if I leave, and then they're gonna be leaving crying. No, most of the players just aren't playing the game just to play the game for fun. And that's what's part of the problem with League's community right now, is that they're not playing the game for fun anymore. It's just all competitive all the time. That's why our community is so toxic. That's why our community really just forgets the reason why they're playing the game. It's supposed to be played for fun, and you're supposed to at least make new friends in the making, rather than just go in a game, flame every single person that you see, even if they're carrying you in the game, and they just forget that you're playing the game for fun. And you're one of the players that makes me feel good that I'm a part of a community that has players like you, because you just play, because you play the game for fun, basically. You don't care about performance-wise, or you don't care about you getting into a winning position so then you can brag about it. You just play it because you enjoy it. And like I said, it's a good feeling, and it's a good thought to have that there are players still in this community that are like you, and that can still be that sign of hope for this game in the future. And even if you do play a different game, or you get bored of Liga sometimes, it just really, it's a good thought to have that, yeah, he was one of those guys that really made the game fun to play. And that's what I believe you should still continue to strive for. You shouldn't really be that type of guy to be like, oh, I'm gonna just trash talk because we won this game or we won that game. You're just gonna be respectable when you win games, and then you're gonna be honorable even if you're in defeat. And honestly, massive amounts of respect to you, my dude. I mean, I am sometimes a toxic player myself. I will seriously be 100% honest. There are times though when I just really think to myself, and I wish that I could just be not as toxic as I am, and I just want to be like a player that's just really chill, that everyone loves to play with. And it's hard, I'll admit, it's hard. But then there's people like you that I can look to, and I can be like, listen, I can be like that. Like, I know I can be that kind of player. There you go.
I'll take it.
There you go. I just poured myself out to both of you. I hope you enjoyed it. Am I done kissing your asses yet? Or
no,
non-toxic.
keep going.
okay, whatever. I don't care about you guys anyway. You both suck. I hope you guys get destroyed. but I'll chill. But I'll chill.
Destroyed. Hold on a minute.
No. I'm joking. It's just a joke. All right. But anyway, talking about destruction, I want to talk about your guys' playoff match coming into this first week of quarterfinals. Unfortunately, with you guys getting the very last seed, you guys have to get pretty much the shit end of the stick. You guys have to face AOL, the top tier team that DUO has been hyping up this entire season. the best performing team, in my opinion, this season, the most consistent team in this season, and by far the most intimidating team this season. Like, what? I just want to know, what are your guys' thoughts going into this? Like, is there any sign of, like, I wouldn't say fear, because there's no reason why you guys have to fear any team in this league. And by God, if you do fear any team in this league, then I would just be like, why, really? But really, I just want to know your guys' thoughts coming into this upcoming match against AOL Phoenix. Like, I just want to know, like, who specifically are you guys looking at to be, like, the biggest threat? Because I know there is several threats, like, all across every single lane for AOL, but I want to know, like, who you guys are mostly focused on of shutting down. Who do you really want to make uncomfortable during this playoff run and say, hey, whether we win or lose, we want to make sure that this player has the most absolute worst time possible. I just want to know your guys' thoughts and what your guys' game plan will be going into this matchup. We'll start with you, Mr. Captain.
Okay, so I have to agree with you on the fear aspect. Like, I don't think fear is the proper word to use for this, for anything like this in the league. But at the same time, before I actually answer the question, I want to make a correction, because I don't think AOL is all that you're making it to be. In my opinion, maybe not showing on the roster, but I think that a more consistent, more intimidating team is CQR Conquer. So going into this game, I'm thinking more about shutting down Sievert. I would wanna make sure that you can't explode. You don't get anything too big, and also, instead of shutting down AOL, I want to play to my team strengths. Like I said, we're still a newer team, so I think that rather than attacking the enemy, we should work on ourselves.
Okay. So primarily, you still, but out of all the All-Stars on their team, of course it being Sievert, Sonic, and Nizumi, you just think Sievert's just the biggest threat when it's coming to you guys, or?
Well, I mean, actually, you know what? If I want to talk about, like, direct matchups, I think at this point, Fergal, as I mentioned earlier, has been playing what we've told him to play and doing well on it. One of the things he does really well is he survives.
Right.
So if we tell him, you don't have to be too aggressive, just don't die, he can do that. Mm-hmm. So that means that Sievert won't blow up. As he's
known to do, of course, in the league. Well, it's true, because it's been shown countless times that if Sievert does get the lead in the lane, then it's pretty much going to be good game, like, immediately. I mean, yeah, for crying out loud, I don't know if this was against you guys or something like that, or if it was against another team. But I mean, for crying out loud, he was playing Gangplank, and by himself, and I think he only got like 1 kill in lane. He was able to gather a 10k gold lead by himself. I mean, and that's like, if you don't keep him under control, and that's why it's like, I do to a certain degree agree that Sievert is definitely the guy that you guys need to shut down. And of course, like with Sonic Abs being the two-trick pony that I know he's known to be, and Nizumi, of course, being in that bot lane. But of course, I'm not too worried about your guys' bot lane to match up against them. I honestly think you guys will actually go even. But really, if left unchecked, honestly, if he does get that lead ever, and it can just be another stomp show. I mean, he's shown time and time again he can take games on his back, and he can legit carry his team to a victory if he needs to, because AOL does have a lot of respect for Sievert as a player, and they know what he's capable of. And after interviewing AOL, they do put a lot of faith in him. So it's like, if you shut him down, it's gonna make things so much easier for those demons to come out with the W in this matchup. But 100% agree with you. Definitely focus on you guys as a team, and not really focus too much on AOL. Just play the game how you guys need to play it, and then you guys should be totally fine. I totally agree with that. That strategy has worked for most of the teams within the league this season. But what about your thoughts, Evelyn?
I'm actually pretty indifferent on shutting people down. I agree with support in that we need to focus on our own strengths if we're going to have any chance of coming out on top as like a solid performance. If we let ourselves get relegated to champions that we're not comfortable on, or a comp that we're not going to do okay on, or try to do something that's outside of our general area of expertise for each individual player, we will fall, and it will not be pretty.
Right.
I don't really.
Do you think AOL is really going to be punishing you guys that much with it? Because I know they're known to be somewhat of a decent pick and ban really pick and ban phase kind of team. Like they're the type of team that can actually win most games just by picks and bans alone, and they actually are able to ban away their opponent's comp and champions at the same time, and put them in the most uncomfortable position, whilst making a composition of their own that they're actually comfortable with. And that's why I kind of agree with the community actually saying that, like, why they are kind of a more hyped team, or give them a lot of credit. And it's like, honestly, they're just another team. I mean, like, they can, like, any other team honestly can do the same exact things. And, like, for them to set that standard that high for AOL and just completely degrade those demons as a team and just, like, not having a shot, I honestly find a little bit of annoyance with that, because I believe you guys are just as good as AOL, especially for you guys for being a whole roster of free agents, because you guys can definitely kick the crap out of AOL, like, and you can definitely shut up the entire community when you guys pull up a W against them. And
we've got a bag of tricks.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
We're prepared to use it.
Exactly. But really, just really, your thought. But I'm sorry I completely interrupted you. It's just it's just when AOL is just talked about all the damn time, it kind of gets me heated under the collar, because they're not as good as everyone thinks they are, in my honest opinion.
And your comment about their pick ban, I don't think with our bag of tricks they will be able to pull off their typical win and pick ban. I think we're going to give them a bit of a run for their money, at least in the first game, if anything. If they figure out what we're going for, hey, props to them for being smart, but I don't think they'll see it coming. Okay. We're going to have fun with it, and we're ready to play, and we're playing serious. But
I'm going to cut in. I see it a little differently. I think that if well, first of all, I'm fully confident that we can have at least a 30-minute game. Everyone talks about the shutdowns that have been this season, the sub-25, sub-20-minute games. I think that we can bring AOL to at least 30 minutes, 30, 40 minutes. One of the things I mentioned, I do have a lot of players to put in a lot of positions.
Right.
And I think that if worse comes to worse, I can just switch up my roster, and you won't know how to ban me out.
Right. And that is mostly a strategy that has actually worked with some teams. Like, you would actually see their starting lineup, but then, like, they don't even look at some of the subs, and then, like, when they get into pick ban phase, they're just like, oh, they have their sub in, like, what the hell are we supposed to ban now, and stuff like that. But I also do agree with you about the 30-minute mark games, because AOL actually, I think they didn't really have as much closing out games as early as most teams were able to this season, and most teams I've actually noticed don't really punish AOL for doing that, because AOL is mostly a team, as I've seen, AOL is more of a team that can really drag games out because they know they can have control, but then they don't know that one team fight can be the difference, and it can shift a game against them, like, really quickly, and a lot of teams haven't been really able to do that. And I honestly hope that whatever bag of tricks that you guys have, you can honestly punish AOL for doing that, because they are a team known to, okay, we're going to starve you of every resource, we're going to drag this game out as long as you can, and legit make you feel fatigued and regret playing this long on our team. Because that is how most of their games turn out. They just wear their opponents down so much to the point where they can't even, they're just like, you know what, just end it. Just end my suffering right now. Because it's mostly painful to watch for some of the other teams that they faced. And really, I'm honestly hoping that during this matchup, whatever tricks you guys come out with, I really hope that you're able to take it to AOL. Because honestly, not only is it gonna shift the talk within the community when you guys beat them, because I honestly believe that you can beat them in 100% honesty. It's just there has to be a really good devotion or a really intelligent game plan going into this to beat the team to beat that DUO has been hyping up this entire season. And for me to give you guys my little bit of extra motivation, I could say I'm rooting for you guys in this matchup 100%. I really hope that you guys actually do come out on top, and like I said, whatever tricks that you have, punish AOL for it, definitely, because I hate hearing all the hype of AOL this, AOL that. I just want it all to stop this season, because AOL isn't the team that they deserve to be, and hopefully you guys can actually come out and you can actually stick it to them. So during this matchup, I really hope you guys come out with the victory.
Yeah, definitely.
But anyway, enough about me ranting. I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna pretty much end this right now because it's already been, I believe, hour and a half of nothing but us talking about Dota's Demons and your guys' matchup coming up this weekend. So honestly, before I really end it, I want to thank both of you for actually taking the time out of your busy schedules to actually conduct this interview with me. Definitely something new I'm bringing to the DUO community, and I'm glad you guys could be a part of it and share your experience about Dota's Demons, getting the community to know just a little bit more about the team coming into the playoffs, and definitely you guys have my ticket to win this game, man. I mean, 100%. I really hope you do. And
thanks, man.
Really just change the script of how DUO has everything right now. So with that, is there any shout-outs that you really want to give out before I go ahead and close this out? Anyone in the DUO community on a different team, or hell, even on your own team, even again? Any shout-outs?
I mean, if there's anyone I want to shout out, I'll just shout out Lobster Gaming for falling apart and being cheaters.
Hell yeah,
Good job.
big kudos to them for actually getting you guys your golden ticket into the playoffs to face the #1 team. It's the dream come true.
Of course.
It is a long road to get there, and I hope to God we can pull it off, because that would be just phenomenal and fun.
That would be
and flip everybody out.
That would be
my shout out.
That would be a true underdog story in my books.
My shout out's gonna be to the opposite side of the bracket, over to all of my ex-Frosty friends on Naughty Nips.
Ooh.
If they make it and we make it, that will be one of the craziest things for me. I would enjoy that so much.
What's also pretty hype as well is I'm also thinking about the matchup between Nineps and Aether. I mean, with kind of a little bit of a mess up with Aether Esports just recently that actually came out. If Nineps are able to pull off a victory, and if for some apparent reason Havoc are able to be a dark horse as they say they are, they're able to come out, beat Conqueror, and then it's going to be Nineps and Havoc?
Havoc.
They have a little bit of history together, and that's a matchup I would actually love to see. And if you guys are able to make it to the finals and Nineps actually make it to the finals, I mean, you can't write a better script. I mean, like...
Yeah.
It's just way too fun. I mean, like, this season's playoffs can really go anywhere, and I just can't wait for this to get started, man. I'm like,
yeah,
I'm
excited.
so hyped. I'm so hyped for this season's playoffs. It's definitely better than last season's by far. But okay, appreciate the shout-outs, guys. Definitely showing your guys' outreach. Definitely wanting to just give a little bit of extra love out there to the community. But kudos to you guys. But anyway, finally ending this episode with Dota's Demons. I was here with Evelyn, the jungle for Dota's Demons. I play support, captain, owner, player for Dota's Demons. You guys are awesome. Thank you for being here.
Thanks for having us.
In general, thanks. So anyway, my name is Sievert. This has been another episode of Playoff Heights, and with that, take it easy, everyone.
I think maybe getting a good catch with Nautilus.
Although ESG are looking for a pick, maybe they found the miracle, but that is just a crazy MF ult. The Ram is actually not going to get knocked back in. Rift 60 is actually dying to Sivian right now. He's going to go down. Sparky is at full HP. He's going to get one. Notice Demons coming in with the vengeance, looking to end this game. Down goes the Soraka, down goes Fridge. Sivian will probably be soon to fall. He's going to die to these minions, I think, and that's going to be the ace. That's going to be the game, and that is going to be the rebound for Dota's Demons after a rough first game.